Well, one thing we know for sure about the 8th grade Midwest Regional, it's never been plain. Well, it has, but it changed names this year. He's Alan Popadines, Youth1.com's National Scouting Director. I'm Neil Sika, and we're talking about the 8th grade Midwest Regional today as the FBU National Championship. The path to Naples gets going on Friday with games kicking off in Overland Park, Kansas and Wichita, Kansas. But Pops, the big story here, North Texas, that group that started as 6th graders in 2013. They won a title then. They won a title as 7th graders and 8th graders last year. So that three-peat through all grade levels. They've moved on, so no more North Texas in this field. And what do you replace them with in terms of the talent and all those teams that are around the area? Who will emerge? That's the big question.
Yes, I don't think it's a question of replacing them. I think it's an issue of who's going to stand up, who's going to take control of this. It's now wide open. North Texas isn't there to cast their dominance anymore. Who is going to win an FBU National Championship?
Let's take a look at the matchups that will be played in Overland Park, Kansas and Wichita, Kansas over the first weekend of the tournament in this 8th grade Midwest Regional. Rio Grande Valley gets Minnesota. KC Metro will play Milwaukee. And Illinois will play East Denver. East Denver is new to the field this year. In Wichita, Kansas, it'll be South Dakota meets Wisconsin. Austin versus West Texas. South Texas, formerly known as San Antonio, plays St. Louis. Much more coming up, including Youth One's Pop's Top 4. We unveil the seeds, plus his sleeper pick in the 8th grade Midwest Regional after these messages.
You can ask any coach, player, or fan. Before the beaches, the golf courses, the sunsets, Florida is known for football. But in Naples, Marco Island, you get them all. With the facilities and accommodations perfect for your off-season training, tournament, or event. Florida's Paradise Coast is Florida's sports paradise.
The best youth football players in the country are at Youth1.com. Youth1.com has the Elite 101 report of the nation's top 101 players, the Freshman 450, rankings, recaps, and news for football and all youth sports. And now anyone can create an athlete profile and share their stats, videos, and skills with the world. Whether you want to be the best or see the best, go to Youth1.com, celebrating the best of youth sports.
The Path to Naples is brought to you by the Naples, Marco Island, and Everglades Convention and Visitors Bureau. Also by Battle Sports Science and Youth One.
We're back on the Path to Naples. We're looking at the 8th grade Midwest Regional today. It's time for the Youth One Pop's Top 4. You're always ready for this.
This is my stuff, Neil. I love it.
Let's learn about some of the teams in this Midwest Regional, formerly known as the Plains. The 4 seed is Rio Grande Valley. Last year, 7th graders got to the second round, a modest appearance. They lost to San Antonio. And the 8th grade team, they bowed out in the first round to Houston. And you've got 2 players coming back that were at Top Gun, hoping to lead this group right now, and wide receiver A.J. Gonzake and Andrew Maldonado, the linebacker.
Yeah, and Gonzake, he's a 6-foot, 180-pound wide receiver. That's what he went to Top Gun as. But in getting to know him and looking at his film, he also plays quarterback, defensive back, linebacker, special teams, whatever you need this kid to do. He's a very athletic kid who moves around the field exceptionally well. Look for him to be a difference maker. And in Maldonado, this is the other Top Gun kid we spoke about, 6 foot, 185 pounds, a linebacker, had a very good camp this past July. Last year, even though he's playing linebacker this year, last year as a running back, 5 touchdowns in 2 games. You know, that's the type of stuff that got RGV to the second round, and now they're looking to get further.
Gus Cruz also there as the tight end. He's a big blocking guy, but good hands. And then Zeravion Armendariz, who made a name for himself. He returned to kickoff in that first-round game against Austin last year.
Yeah, Armendariz is a very quick kid, 5'8", 145 pounds, a district track champion. He has the speed for days, really good-looking prospect. Look for him to be a dangerous weapon in the return game. And with Cruz, yeah, he's a very well-balanced 6'2", 210-pound tight end, which is great size for a tight end at this level.
So RGV is your 4 seed. They take on Minnesota in their opening round game on Friday, December 2nd. South Texas, they were known as San Antonio last year. They are your 3 seed here this year. Another group of players that had some standouts at Top Gun. Devin Brown and Josh Gonzalez among them.
Yeah, Devin Brown was an All-American 2 years ago. Very, very good kid, very athletic, about 5'6", 155, 160 pounds, well built. Look for him to stand out at running back and outside linebacker. And Gonzalez, offensive line and defensive line, a bigger kid, 6'2", 220 range, really going to open holes and shut holes.
Well, they're playing down in Wichita, taking on St. Louis. You've got the quarterback, Cannon Williams, and Steve Johnson, who was Top Gun honorable mention.
Absolutely. Steve Johnson and a very, very deep linebacking group at Top Gun earned honorable mention. Very good-looking kid, very rangy, long, 6 foot, 180 pounds. And in Cannon Williams, you have a quarterback who's doing everything on the planet he can to get better. Quarterback coaches, footwork drills. He's playing year-round. He's doing all the little things that he needs to do to take that next step.
So that's South Texas. Mentioning again, they were San Antonio last year. And the 7th graders, they made the regional semifinals, so maybe some expectations this season.
Yeah, absolutely. The game between South Texas / San Antonio and RGV last year was a classic. It was a great game, and there's no surprise to see them in the top 4 again.
All right, that's the 3 seed South Texas. The 2 seed is St. Louis. And this organization, while it's been in different forms, the team representing has had success in the past. They only had a 6th grade team last year. Here at the 8th grade level, they are your 2 seed. They will play South Texas in their opening round game. Rashad Harvey, who's been selected for the FBU All-American Bowl, leads this group.
Yeah, this is a kid who's not the tallest, not the heaviest, but we're talking about a dynamic, exciting kid. He's listed as an athlete. Look for him to play corner, running back, wide receiver, whatever they need to do to get him the ball, because I promise you he will score multiple touchdowns.
I like the nickname Michi for Demetrius Cannon, the wide receiver linebacker.
Yeah, Big Meech, 6'3", 175, deceptively fast. You know, oftentimes when a kid is 6'3" already in the 8th grade, they're kind of awkward a little bit. They're very long, not really understanding their body. He has great body control, extremely sneaky route runner, very deceptive speed, solid hands. He's everything you want in a wide receiver.
And then I like these nicknames that you have for these guys. Tyler Macon, Dakota Doyle, T. Mako, and Cody for Doyle, the linebacker tight end.
Yeah, Macon, 5'11", 155. Far more arm strength than your normal average Little League quarterback on the 8th grade. Can hit every spot on the field, especially those out routes, which are very tough for youth quarterbacks to hit because you're throwing all the way to the wide side of the field. He can do it, no problem. And Doyle, 6 foot, 205. Look for him to bring a presence as a middle linebacker. He pursues every single play, hits like a future D1 player. Good-looking overall group for this St. Louis team.
They are the 2 seed, and they get your 3 seed right off the bat in Wichita, playing South Texas. Your 1 seed is KC Metro. Last year, they were known as Kansas City, and they made the national semifinals. Now, DFW, mind you, had a player disqualified. They found themselves playing Seattle in the national semifinal. Lost that game, but bring back a wealth of talent, starting with Jalen Roberts, the first team, Youth 1, all FBUNC.
Yeah, this kid, 6'5", 305 pounds. Without a doubt, Division I player. I expect him to be getting offers in the next 6 to 18 months. Huge kid, mountain of a man. Mentality is finally catching up with his body. You know, he's been so big for so long. Now he's getting that mean, nasty streak that you like to see in linemen. Look for him to make a name for himself and become a star.
Well, 6'5" is one thing, but the rest of this lineup that you have for KC Metro, or the guys we're profiling, are 6'2" or better. Chandler Tyler, Edgar Hunley, and Ian Bollinger.
Yeah, with Tyler, you have an athlete, move him around, wide receiver, let him play some free safety, some outside linebacker, a physical kid. He's 6'2", 175 of solid muscle. Not a lot of skin and bones on him, a lot of muscle, great looking prospect. Hunley, get this combination, defensive end and running back. 6'2", 240 pounds.
Gotta be fast.
Yeah, he moves exceptionally well, which makes him a very, very dangerous pass rusher as a defensive end. You know, really lives and breathes football all day, every day. And Bollinger, 6'2", big arm. When you see him roll out, he runs downhill, attacks the line of scrimmage, and fires the football everywhere. Will also be a threat to take off and run.
All right, that's your 1 seed KC Metro, your sleeper team. They bounced around. They've been in the Northeast in the past. Now they're back here in the Midwest Regional. That's Illinois. This group, their 7th graders lost in the 2nd round. Last year at the 8th grade level, also lost in the 2nd round, facing Indiana. But you like what you've seen in terms of their development. I know you had their younger teams rated a little bit higher this year. Keyshawn Houston, the running back, is someone to keep an eye on.
Yeah, the team director's got Illinois going in the right direction. He's finally getting out there, seeing all the youth talent that the state of Illinois has, and Keyshawn Houston is one of those kids that he found. 5'9", 165 pounds, ran for over 1,200 yards and 19 touchdowns in the regular season, over 400 receiving yards as well. So look for him to get the ball out of the backfield in screens or in draws, and then also, your traditional run plays.
He'll combine in the backfield with Bryson Bowes. You've got Devon Bright, the linebacker, and then Rick Villarreal, who's up front on the offensive line and the defensive front.
Right, and with Bowes, you have a dynamic playmaker on the outside. He's not going to burn you with speed, but he's got reliable hands. Reminds me almost of a Wayne Forbett from the old New York Jets days. Just reliable hands, goes across the middle, can run all the routes you want him to. Great weapon to have on offense. Devon Bright returns from last year. This kid was all over the field making tackles left and right last year. Really impressive. He's grown, put on a little weight, so look for him to be back and making big plays. And Villarreal, 5'10", 275, offense and defensive line, big kid. There's no substitute for size on this level, and he's got it.
Maybe Hofstra will come calling for Bowes one day. What do you think?
Well, Hofstra's football program is non-existent.
Yes, indeed, that's the case. Maybe another sport. But in the 8th grade, we're going to have some headline names to also keep an eye on. Also playing on some teams, perhaps, that aren't in the top 4, but might make some noise. Milwaukee is new to the group this year in this 8th grade Midwest Regional, and right off the bat, they've got a tough task with KC Metro, but Patrick Wright, the defensive lineman, may help things.
Yeah, traditionally this Milwaukee or Wisconsin team has not had a lot of size. Patrick Wright's changing that this year. 6'4", 280, a bulldog mentality, the leader of that defense for sure. Led his local league in tackles for loss. One of those kids that just hustles, man, just puts it out there on the line every play.
Wisconsin has a running back in Caden Fritch who's happy just to not be injured after last season. He's back this year.
Yeah, broke his leg in the first game of last year in the FBU tournament. North and South runner, one cut and go, 5'10", 160. Just a great-looking kid, probably going to tote the rock a lot for Wisconsin.
Wisconsin plays South Dakota. Austin, I think this is a group we've all expected more out of through the years. We'll see if the 8th graders can get it going. They've got Kion King and Andrew Joe, the defensive back, and then the latter being an offensive lineman.
Yeah, with Kion King, you have a kid who's been through the FBU camps. He's done all the right stuff in the offseason to prepare for these moments. Great athlete. Will probably get some looks at high school varsity next year as a freshman. Fundamentally sound, good size, good speed, everything you want in a D-back. And with Joe, he's from Nolanville, Texas. Strong as a bull on both sides of the ball. Interior offensive line and interior defensive line. 7th grade FBU All-American last year. Honor roll kid. The type of kid that every program wants.
Well, their opponent, Austin, in that first round is going to be West Texas, that group from out of the El Paso area. And Aaron Dumas, this running back, has a lot to show in this 2016 tournament.
Right, 5'10", 150 pounds. We saw him at Top Gun this past summer. The kid didn't crack a smile the entire camp, I swear to God. All he did was keep a straight face and make plays. As soon as he straps on his helmet, the kid's just focused. Really good-looking prospect. Look for him to get the ball on a lot of sweeps, use his speed.
So 8th grade Midwest Regional, those are some players to keep an eye on. Pop's parting shot. We've already talked about replacing, not North Texas, or not replacing, but who will emerge from this region. And there's some good players all across the board. But if you had to identify a group in Texas that maybe could stand out, who would it be?
You know, I don't know if they're necessarily going to stand out, but I love the progress that RGV has made as a program. Last year was their first year in the tournament. 7th grade made it to the second round. That same group is now in the 8th grade and in my top 4. I think once you get these powerhouse programs, the younger kids in the community want to see, oh, I can be like that. And this is the type of team that you need that community to come together, and they'll be successful.
All right, RGV working out a little bit better than RG3 at this point. That's Pop's parting shot. As we looked at the 8th grade Midwest Regional, of course, we're previewing all the regions, both 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, on the path to Naples here in 2016 for the FBU National Championship. Games kick off on Friday, December 2nd. Now keep in mind, on FBUNC.com and the FBU National Championship YouTube page, you can follow along and watch the third round games streaming live as those teams are trying to play their way in. We're taking the quarterfinalists down to Naples this year, so that should be some exciting theater.
Absolutely.
All right, he's Alan Popadines of Youth1.com, the National Scouting Director. I'm Neil Sika. We are glad you're a part of the path to Naples. Thanks for watching.